Okay, so a couple of things you need to know about. Um, First thing you want to know about is there such thing as loosh, which is supposed to be highly negative energy. Um, let's just call it all energy that um, is related to the scale of human consciousness, everything between 1 and 199 on the scale of human consciousness. Um, so anger, apathy, fear, dread, and some of these other things that you hear about, terror, let's put in there. I don't think it's actually on the scale of human consciousness, but terror definitely is something that is related to loosh, very low vibration. And the idea is that there are some beings that actually live on this kind of energy, highly negative entities. Now, when it comes to the Amazon, um, we can't fly to the Amazon and fly all over an enormous area of South America to determine if fires in the Amazon are real or if they are maybe a cyclical thing that happened every dry season, whether they're worse than they were last year or the last 10 years. We don't have this information. What we get is, some little news blurb will come out that Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt have declared an emergency because protected areas of the Amazon are now being cut down and they're going to be lost forever for soybean farms and things like this. This could be a false news narrative in order to make you feel sick. Because whether it's true or not, you hear this, and if you are someone who's susceptible to it, you might feel, "Oh my God, they're attacking Mother Earth," or something like this. You get an emotional reaction, and the emotional reaction you get is highly negative. So, where does it go? Well, you feel it, you don't like it, but the beings that are behind loosh farming on planet Earth love to get that kind of energy. Highly negative beings. This also leads me to another type of thing that I want to talk about. It has to do with people who create problems on purpose so that they can be Johnny on the spot with a solution. This is called the Hegelian, after Hegel, Hegel, who was a most likely German philosopher. But the Hegelian dialectic is we create a problem, then we immediately have a solution, and because people, when they first hear what the problem, they want the solution. We've got it. Um, so, for example, 9/11, which many people think was an inside job done by whatever you want to call them, the people who are loosh farmers. Um, they had many different examples come up over the years about places like The Simpsons, for example, that long before the 9/11 thing happened, they were signaling there was going to be something going to happen with uh, the Twin Towers coming down. Many different things in the media pointed towards this thing happening way ahead of time. So it was like the Illuminati, sometimes they're called, signaled that this was going to happen to try and make people even more in fear. Because once they see this, they say, oh, the Illuminati planned this years ago, long before 9/11, and lo and behold, they pulled it off. Well, and then what did they have? So they had enormous crisis. The United States was attacked on its own homeland, and they immediately, the very next thing, they already had the Patriot Act It wasn't drafted and created after 9/11. It was all ready to go. So all they needed was 9/11 for as an excuse, and then they had laws to promote Big Brother in the United States and all over the world. So as you can see, there is a hidden hand of highly toxic negativity surrounding world events. And thus, we are mind controlled by mass media to believe whatever they want us to believe and to get an emotional reaction and to, in essence, let the control drama people who are all about controlling others, have a freer hand with us. This is not high consciousness. This is very low vibe. And this is basically Earth history as it's presented to us. Our job is to get to learn about it and then learn, well, what do you do about it? First of all, you have to question all news stories, whether it's your neighbor gossiping or it's something you hear on the radio, the news, or the internet. You have to question it all. First of all, is it related to me at all? If I live so far away from the Amazon, is it really relevant to me? Number two, have I been brainwashed in school to believe in physicality? That is, that everything, like my finger, for example, is physical, and that, if we lose things in the matrix, we're going to have disaster on our hands. We are brainwashed to believe in physicality. I've done other lectures on this. Consciousness is what we're experiencing here, and this is known as a low frequency planet. And that's what Earth Ascension is all about, us waking up to the fact that we are eternal spirits and that we've been living in a prison, the Matrix. There's still many people that don't have a clue about this. It takes a lot of meditation, learning, and experience before you really get the whole picture of it. And even people who are partly awake still get worried about the environment. It is all designed to create a lot of fear in you. The first thing you need to know about being a light worker or someone who is bringing consciousness to the planet is don't get into fear about anything. That is what the dark wants you to do, to get into fear. So how do you not get into fear? Meditate a lot. Spend hours a day in meditation. It really helps you notice when you're feeling fear. When you're feeling fear, it's not your fear. It's coming from somewhere else, and it's trying to hook you. It's trying to hook you into this fear factor. It is the way the dark works. Are there actual beings that feed on negative entities, negative energies? I've been talking to some, and I keep threatening them, not with me coming to hurt them, but I keep telling the negative entities, yes, it's not the light that's going to come and kick you in the ass. It's other dark entities. There is only so much dark energy for them to live on. And as more and more of us wake up and refuse to submit to fear, there's less and less of this negative energy for these entities to live on. And what I tell them is, what you have to do, negative entities, is you have got to connect up to source so that you can live on real love energy and not negative energy. Do some of them do it? Yes. Some of them refuse. And what's going to happen to them is when there's a short supply of negative energy and it's not being created enough to keep them all going, there's going to be a huge fight among the negative entities for the last remaining bits of negative energy to live on. The safest thing for negative entities to do is to give up their negative energy feeding, go and meditate and connect to source so that they can become service to others, love beings. I always tell them to do that. That is the safest thing for them to do. Otherwise, they're going to be looking at a battle royale among the negative entities for this declining amount of negative energy that they feed on. That's your update. I'm Harry Weaver.